My name is Jon Chad, and I'm here in the publication lab at the Center for Cartoon Studies in White River Junction, Vermont. And I wanted to talk to you about a mini comic that I'm making for San Diego Comic-Con. I've been really lucky and happy over the past 2 years to share my love of bookmaking and comic making in one wonderful project, working with Boom Studios to make books about various Cartoon Network properties. The first one I did was for Adventure Time, and then last year I did Regular Show, and this year I'm going to be tackling the Amazing World of Gumball. One of the things that I really think about when I design books is how can I extend the theme of the story or the theme of the characters into the actual